Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Network. I'm your host, Mitchell Rulaine, and we're going to talk about some weird news, pun absolutely intended. So today's topic that I've picked is going to be a thing that a lot of people like and, you know, they deal with every day, or at least I hope so, because it's the only way to survive, right? Well, not the only way to survive, but one of the most pivotal ways to survive, and that's about food. And just for the faint of heart, as a disclaimer, I'm going to let you know right now, some of these stories, you know, they might not necessarily increase your appetite. So later on in the show, I'm going to cover really crazy things found in people's food at restaurants and boxes of cereal and whatnot. I mean, yeah, so you gotta tune in for that. First, though, I'm going to kick it off. Well, first, actually, I would like to probably ask, how's everybody doing this week? Everybody have a really good week? My week has been really crazy, very hectic, a lot of wild things going on out there. You know, my life is in a transition professionally and personally, and, you know, but that's good. You know, it keeps me on my toes. It's idle hands are the devil's workshop. So what do you got going on, right? What's going on in your walk? And if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, well, you know, nothing. Well, maybe you should get into something, right? You get into something, and it's better than nothing. Although, I mean, you know, obviously don't get into gang warfare or something like that. That probably wouldn't be too good. But, yeah, get out and do something. Make your life make more sense. Make it have more action. More action, Jackson. Anyways, I'm going to get into the first segment today, and it's about a really weird restaurant. And a lot of people probably maybe have heard of it. If you have not, then check this out. So it's this place in Las Vegas, and it's called the Heart Attack Grill. And for anybody wondering, the title of this restaurant definitely ties in to what you can expect there. Not necessarily heart attacks, but food that absolutely will give you heart attacks. They have their food is like their burgers and fries are cooked in lard. Yes. You did hear that correctly. I said lard. And so I'm going to read an article. This is, I got this out of the Mashed. Yeah, www.mashed.com. You can check this out if you'd like to read it for yourself. It also has pictures accompanying it. It's called The Untold Truth of Heart Attack Grill. So we're going to find out about this restaurant. Why is it called the Heart Attack Grill? You know, what's its motif? What does it have going on for itself? Las Vegas. It's not called Sin City for nothing. You can definitely find all kinds of sinful behavior on offer there. But if you're heading to Vegas looking for some good old-fashioned gluttony, the Heart Attack Grill has you covered. So what exactly is this place? It's essentially a burger joint that prides itself on offering some of the most horrible-for-you food in the country. Burgers are called bypass burgers, and you can order anything from a single and a double all the way up to the octuple bypass burger. Octuple, that's 8, right? Yeah, like an octopi. Waitresses are dressed as sexy nurses. This is kind of like a unhealthy Hooters, right? They're dressed up like sexy nurses, and if you don't eat all your food, they'll bend you over in the middle of the restaurant and administer some spankings. I'm not making this up. Like, this is, if you don't finish your food, these chicks, scantily clad in the sexy, skanky-looking nurse outfits you can get from the Halloween store, they'll start spanking you in the middle of the restaurant. Pretty hilarious. Really? We couldn't make this up. This is what they're saying here in the article. This entire place is designed around a medical theme. You might just get pushed around in a wheelchair. And in order to eat there, you'll have to don one of their medical gowns. Yes, it really is as unhealthy as they claim, and yes, people have collapsed while gorging themselves on grease bomb burgers. Brilliant marketing, a message about the dangers of obesity, or shameless exploitation. You decide. This is the untold truth of Heart Attack Grill. The Heart Attack Grill officially opened in 2006, and it wasn't always in Las Vegas. It started out in nearby Tempe, Arizona. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The mastermind behind the concept is John Basso, who goes by Dr. John, chief surgeon, when he's talking about his culinary creation. And no, ABC News confirms that he's not a real doctor. What if he was? What if he's a real doctor? You know? And he has this restaurant that's like killing people or something? I don't know. All right, moving on. According to Entrepreneur, which is a company, a magazine, I believe, and some kind of promotion company, he didn't actually come up with the idea for the grill when he was looking for his great money-making idea. He wrote about it as a part of his marketing thesis. The entire idea was built around controversy. Basso himself says, I tell everybody, don't come here every day of the week. It'll kill you. This is a direct quote from the creator of the restaurant. When the marketing thesis turned into reality, it was a burger joint serving up 8,000-calorie burgers. Not just any old fries, but fries cooked in lard. At a time when many people were getting more health conscious and the obesity crisis in America was getting more and more attention, a restaurant that advertised they had a taste worth dying for was, of course, just as controversial as he hoped. Consequently, he and his restaurant made national headlines. Even though that aside from the website, he's never spent any money on advertising. The owner of Heart Attack Grill used to work in a weight loss company. Heart Attack Grill owner John Basso didn't start out as a restaurateur. According to Eater Las Vegas, he started out helping people eat healthy and get in shape. He was a franchisee of Jenny Craig. But it wasn't long before he started to get disillusioned by the whole thing. He said, you are not being very real with people, and by the nature of the fitness industry, it's disgusting because you are promising people things that are outside genetic possibility. Year after year went by, and I became more and more jaded and bitter. After a while, I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror because I was a complete fraud. So instead, he just opens a restaurant that they cook stuff in lard and gives people health issues, right? The irony, ladies and gents. Then he found himself on the receiving end of a lawsuit. A certain fast food chain was suing him and his in and out workout studios for copyright infringement. After fighting for a while, he realized he had no way of winning and got out of the fitness business. From there, Basso said that he took the opportunity to do something that would be absolutely honest. He says that he firmly believes that people are predestined to suffer from things like heart attacks and cancer based on what genes they inherited. And he adds that while diet and exercise might contribute to a bit to our health, he doesn't think it's the main factor. So why not gorge yourself on the quadruple bypass burger? The Heart Attack Grill has been associated with many health emergencies. In 2011, the Heart Attack Grill had their own spokesman, this 570-pound Blair River, who was at the time 29 years old. In March, ABC News reported that he had passed away after 4 days in the hospital. Whoa. I mean, that's not funny, but it's kind of crazy, right? Reports said he had succumbed to pneumonia after battling the flu, which Basso described as tragic. Fast forward to 2012, and ABC News is once again reporting on a tragedy linked to the Heart Attack Grill. This time, it was an unidentified customer who had suffered an actual heart attack while eating there. He'd been eating a triple bypass burger, and he was taken to a nearby hospital. Just a few months later, they reported another customer collapsed. She had been eating a double bypass burger, smoking cigarettes, and enjoying a margarita. Woo! Roll Tide. That's a Southern thing. Nobody picks up on that. She was unconscious when the paramedics arrived, but was taken to the hospital and was said to be recovering. Then in 2013, the Heart Attack Grill's daily customer and unofficial mascot, John Allman, died after suffering a heart attack and collapsing as he stood at the bus stop in front of the restaurant. According to USA Today, he was the inspiration for the Patient John character seen around the restaurant, and Basso's comments speak for themselves. Allman's death isn't going to stop us from what we're doing. Business Insider talked to owner John Basso about the disturbing trend, and he told them death equals business at the Heart Attack Grill. Will it please me if another spokesman die in the future? Absolutely. I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. What do you think of this? What's mulling through your head right now? You know, you can comment on this. Let me know. Let the GSMC network know what you think about this so far. The Heart Attack Grill founder says he's just being honest. Over the years, Heart Attack Grill founder John Basso has given some very strange interviews. At the heart of them all is his claim that he's just being honest. When he was on Bloomberg TV in 2013, he told the anchor, "I say it boldly, don't come to my restaurant. It is bad for you and it will kill you." He went on to compare himself to fast food chains like McDonald's, saying, "We all know that burgers and fries and chicken McNuggets or anything else that corporate fast food chains can throw out at you are absolutely horrible for your health, as is the food I serve. But I am probably the only restaurateur in the world unapologetically telling you my food is bad for you and will kill you, and stay away from it." But here's the thing, right? If he's saying that, then why even do it? If he knows it's bad and he's telling you, "Hey, don't eat my food. This is terrible." You know what I mean? It's like a guy going out there like trying to date, you know, and he's like, "Hey, ladies," or whatever, like, "stay away from me. I'm a terrible catch. I'm not a good guy. I'm not good with relationships. Don't date me. But would you like to go out Friday night?" Right? Oh my gosh, I love it. He's also talked to Eater about the media coverage he's gotten and the condemnation from various outlets. According to Basso, he's pushing a broader message about health and fitness than any other physician in America. His reasoning is that obesity is still a problem in America. In spite of all the work done by the fitness and medical communities, they, he says, failed in their mission. So let's take a different approach. He likens it to an intervention and says that he hopes going to the Heart Attack Grill will be a life-changing experience for customers. The Heart Attack Grill owner took cremated remains on television. If it seems like the Heart Attack Grill owner John Basso is all talk and bluster, you should know that he's gone pretty far to prove his point about how unhealthy his restaurant is. It's like he's his own restaurant's own detractor. I love it. He's shown the proof in a pretty shocking way. He was on Bloomberg in the Loop with Betty Lou to talk about his food when he pulled up a clear bag of powder and put it on the desk. What was it? He said, "I'm here with the cremated remains of someone who died at my restaurant. He died of a heart attack at my restaurant, and I'm putting the bag clearly on the table. I wish that Burger King, McDonald's, and everyone else would do the same thing." When the host of the show pointed out how grim things had suddenly gotten, he agreed. Because the entire fast food industry is pretty grim, he says. Heart Attack Grill employees aren't always comfortable working there. The staff at the Heart Attack Grill is also part of the gimmick. Waitresses dress as sexy nurses and spank customers who can't finish what they order. So, what's it really like working there? One former employee took to Reddit to answer questions, and she had a lot to say. When one poster wanted to know if the spankings were legit, she said yes. Some waitresses would absolutely hit customers as hard as they could, while some were a little more forgiving. Did it ever get uncomfortable? Sometimes, only if the customer made it creepy, she answered. The former hostess also said that they had more repeat regular customers than you might expect. We'd get a few locals who would come in frequently to take advantage of the free meal, because if you weigh 350 pounds or more, you eat at the Heart Attack Grill for free. How about that? You guys want some free meals? You better start packing on the pounds. Double hands, man. Some of the comments have since been removed, but according to Fox News, the hostess had some distressing things about her experience as a staffer at the Heart Attack Grill. She explained that a male customer passed out and an ambulance had to be called. A manager made me take out my cell phone to record a video of the whole thing so they could send it to the media, she said. It was on a Friday afternoon, and he hoped it would make the news so they could have a busy weekend. G-Bus. That's wild, dude. I just don't even know like where to even begin or end with this. What do you guys want to eat at the Heart Attack Grill? I'll finish up with, can the Heart Attack Grill give you a heart attack? So, what will eating at the Heart Attack Grill really do for you? Can it trigger a heart attack? Yale University professor of medicine Dr. Harlan Krumholz says via ABC News, there is some evidence that a high-fat meal can transiently affect the blood vessels, but little support for the idea that a high-fat meal can trigger a heart attack. Krumholz goes on to say that yes, while a poor diet over a long period of time contributes to the risk that someone's going to have a heart attack, But there's little to no evidence that one-time trip to the Heart Attack Grill is going to cause one. So the next time I'm out in Vegas, I might just have to stop by and see what this place is all about. Everyday Health echoed that sentiment, saying that making a habit of unhealthy food is definitely a no-no, as it does contribute to risk of heart disease, heart attack, diabetes, stroke, and high cholesterol. But once in a while, well, it's not going to kill you. Las Vegas's Mayor Carol Goodman put it this way: there's nothing wrong with indulging once in a while, as long as you don't go overboard. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that segment. If you're visiting Las Vegas out in Nevada, you're going to stop by, get a triple bypass burger and some lard fries and one of their shakes, let us know in the comments. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk about really crazy, wild things found in food, like a severed head. And yes, I do mean that. See what I mean? Come back. Check us out. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. The GSMC Network Podcast. Weird News.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Again, welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. I am your host, Mitchell Roulane. If you're just joining us, our last segment, we talked about the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas, Nevada, where if you're 350 pounds or more, you get to eat for free. So you should really check that out if you want to find out. This place is pretty crazy. They cook everything in lard. One thing I just kind of found on this, and I want to touch on this before I get to my next topic in this segment, is in 2013, the Heart Attack Grill made it into the Guinness World Record books with their quadruple bypass burger. The award, the world's most calorific burger. It's 4 half-pound hamburgers cooked in lard and covered with caramelized onions, along with 8 slices of cheese, mayo, ketchup, and mustard for a whopping 9,982 calories. Guinness also notes that customers have the option to turn the burger into the Heart Attack meal, which means adding fries and a milkshake to boost the total calorie count up to 12,410 calories. As if that isn't heart-stopping enough, Newsweek reported that in 2015 they beat their own record with the octuple bypass burger. That monstrosity includes 40 pieces of bacon, chili, cheese, and 8 patties. It's about 1.5 feet tall, and anyone who managed to eat it would be consuming 19,900 calories. For anyone interested in doing the math, that's the amount of calories most people eat over the course of 10 days. How about them apples? But not apples there, because they don't eat anything healthy, right? That's wild. It's absolutely wild. I'm perplexed. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I'm a little intrigued, interested, and disgusted all in one. Would I eat there? Probably. This next segment that I promised earlier in the first segment, we're going to talk about wild things found in people's food. One story that I'm about to cover now is actually more recent. I think this literally happened maybe just a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it was, it was definitely this year, 2021. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the article up because this is pretty crazy stuff. It involves Cinnamon Toast Crunch. How many people out there love, like me, Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I grew up on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So good. The cinnamon, the sugar, it flavors the milk too. And some num. Awesome. All right, here we go. This is by foodandwine.com. So you can check it out yourself. Unpacking the viral saga of shrimp tails found in a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Oh, man. Here we go. What is it about finding something bizarre in prepackaged food that has perpetual news appeal attached to it? Sometimes these incidents have obvious safety repercussions, like the infamous Pepsi syringe hoaxes from the 90s. Not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up later. It sounds interesting. Other times, they're somehow even more off-putting, like finding a dead bat in a bagged salad. Holy guacamole. Really? Is that a real thing? I gotta favorite this. I have absolutely got to find out more about this. Can you imagine that? You're getting some couple spring mixes. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have some steaks and some baked potatoes. And then like someone's like, hey, what's this bag of salad's way heavier than the other one. What's this big black thing in here? Or brown thing, whatever color the bat is. And they're like, is that a bat? That's ewy, right? Ewy. In the social media age, these kinds of strange finds to skip the news cycle altogether, which is precisely what happened when writer and entertainer Jensen Karp went viral on Twitter with a post about something unexpected he says he found in a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Shrimp tails. The incident started innocently enough when on Monday, Karp tweeted, this is at CTCS, which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch Squares, the cereal's official Twitter account. He tweets to them, why are there shrimp tails in my cereal? This is not a bit, in parentheses. He's mentioned not a bit because among other endeavors, Karp is a comedy writer. Oh, well, maybe he's just making a joke. We'll find out more. Something that helped give him his momentum. His Twitter account is verified with over 100,000 followers. If you go to this website that I'm on here now, they actually have the links to Twitter, so you can go to his Twitter account. His name is Jensen Karp. Jensen, Karp spelled K-A-R-P, and he's got pictures here. So right now I'm looking at a picture. It says the tweet that he sent to Cinnamon Toast Crunch's official Twitter, and it shows what looks like shrimp tails mixed in with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But propelling the story even further is what many would consider a botched response from Cinnamon Toast Crunch's social media team. At one point, they replied, after further investigation with our team that closely examined the image, it appears to be an accumulation of cinnamon sugar that sometimes can occur when ingredients aren't thoroughly blended. We assure you that there's no possibility of cross-contamination with shrimp. An assertion Karp was quickly able to disprove with a couple more pictures. Here's what he says. It's only viral. Well, this is what he says just now. Hold on. It's only viral because of their insane response. Karp later tweeted, I would have dropped it. All right, here's a picture of him. This is him holding these things, these masses of cinnamon sugar that they claimed is what it was. He goes, okay, after further investigation with my eyes, these are cinnamon-coated shrimp tails, you weirdos. I wasn't all that mad until you now tried to gaslight me. Wow. Yeah. I mean, you guys got to look this up. Make your own assessment. Is this just a clump of sugar and cinnamon that somehow looks exactly like shrimp tails? I'm going to say fish tails. That'd be even crazier if it was fish tails. Shrimp tails. So what exactly did happen? Karp said he started his Monday morning with a bowl of one of his favorite cereals, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which he had purchased from Costco. I went to eat a second. I went to go eat a second one. I was going to share a bit with my 21-month-old, and that's when something plopped out of the box. He told me via email. It didn't take long to realize it was a sugar-coated shrimp tail. Then when I looked into the bag, I saw the second. That's not all he found. After his back and forth with the brand on Twitter went sour, Karp examined the box further. He told the New York Times he found shrimp skin-looking things, a small string, and another small object, all covered in sugar, as well little black bits on some of the squares at the bottom of the bag. Additionally, the second bag and the two-pack apparently had been taped back together. Karp said he's given these items to be a lab. Okay, this is a typo, obviously. Karp said he's given these items to a lab to be tested and is leery of sending the evidence to General Mills after their response, which included the brand's suggestion that he take the box to the police. Reached for comment, General Mills gave us the following statement. While we are still investigating this matter, we can say with confidence that this did not occur at our facility, said a spokesperson. Mike Simonius, I don't know if I'm saying that right. We're waiting for the consumer to send us the package to investigate further. Any consumers who notice their cereal box or bag has been tampered with, such as the clear tape that was found in this case, should contact us. As for what Karp thinks happened, he told us he has no idea. He continued, my guess is that it was tampered with at some point. But that doesn't explain the black little squiggly things cooked into some squares or why the tails are sugar-coated. I went back and forth so much, but my main goal isn't to actually solve it, but to have General Mills investigate it. Taking some of that investigation into their own hands, Karp is also having the shrimp identified using DNA. Jeez Louise. And the whole incident may not be completely bad for General Mills' business. There are already chefs and TikTokers concocting recipes with, you guessed it, Cinnamon Toast Crunch and shrimp. It's so funny that they're talking about this. I just had French toast made with Cinnamon Toast Crunch the other day. So how ironic. It was very good. I really recommend it if you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and if you like French toast. There's a Twitter thing for Chef Andy Lunique. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Tempura Shrimp. Custom spice blends jalapenos served with a coconut lime dipping sauce. So apparently this tempura shrimp, this one chef, they use Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I guess, in with traditional batter. I wonder how that would taste. Probably good. But for anyone wondering if this whole thing is just a Pepsi needle-like publicity stunt, Karp told the Times that it's certainly not the case. I'm a comedy writer. Like there's no joke here. He was quoted as saying, to take down my favorite cereal brand? I don't even know why that's a funny joke. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the only cereal I eat. It's the, I own the Kyrie Irving Cinnamon Toast Crunch Nikes. So what do y'all think of that story? That's pretty wild, right? Like, shrimp tails found in there. I think what's more crazy about it is how Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the company, just, try to like say it was like clumps. Clearly you can look at it with your eyes and see that it's shrimp tails. It's very silly that they would try to like, dance around that. I don't know why they would do that. Well, I guess I do know, right? Like, they don't want the bad publicity, I guess. So apparently, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's not a duck. It's a Volkswagen Beetle, ladies and gents. Our next story might turn your stomach a little bit. You might not ever want to go to McDonald's again. You probably have heard about this story. This isn't new, and it's been, through much media. There's memes, there's pictures, there's freakouts. But a lady found a deep-fried chicken head in with her chicken nuggets. To actually see it is crazy. It's like this chicken head, and it has the fry batter on it. It's pretty disturbing. All right. This story first broke in the late 2000s. A woman named Catherine Ortega of Newport News, Virginia, allegedly found an intact breaded chicken head in an order of McDonald's Mighty Wings, which were being test marketed in her area. Okay, so this wasn't McNuggets. Not McNuggets, as some have claimed. Okay, well, that was my bad then. She took her order home and noticed an unusually shaped wing, quote, in the box. Upon closer inspection, she realized it was an intact breaded chicken head. Ortega first contacted the McDonald's store, but was not satisfied with the manager's offer of a refund or replacement order. Can you imagine that? Hey, yeah, there's a severed chicken head in with my McDonald's chicken wings. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, ma'am. Just come on in, bring it back in, and we'll give you a new box. Oh my gosh, that's great. Ortega considered a lawsuit, but it never materialized, perhaps because the head was not eaten, or because a chicken head is not considered a foreign object in a box of cooked chicken parts. The incident was been referred to as McNasty and Happy Meal, and McNoggin. I love it. The story made its rounds via email back in 2001, often accompanying a tirade regarding unsafe and flippant health practices by McDonald's. It still occasionally resurfaces on social media sites such as Facebook or Twitter, often falling to point out that the incident happened years ago. Yeah. The incident has been discussed and debated over the past 15 years with no clear consensus regarding its veracity. Below are some points made on both sides of the chicken head debate. Reasons why some believe that it's fake. It seems unlikely that an employee would not have noticed a chicken head while frying or boxing up the order. Chickens are typically beheaded first before they are processed. Every chicken requires inspection after the beheading and evisceration process. The head appears too well preserved to have gone through machinery used to process chicken meat. The head was not examined by McDonald's or a lab. And then the lawsuit was quickly threatened. All right, and this is reasons why some people believe it's real. Reporters who were allowed to examine the head said that it looked real and that the breading matched what would be expected or such a product. I guess this is another typo. The woman allowed reporters to take video and photos of the head, which have not been discredited, and Ortega, the lady who found the head, never went through with the lawsuit, but maintains the story to be true. And I'm looking at a newspaper article about it. What in the world do you think about that? It says, in 2015, the story was often referenced in a news report about a customer who allegedly found a deep-fried rat at a KFC. That allegation proved to be false, thank God. And the rat was simply an unusually shaped piece of chicken. Bottom line, in 2000, a woman claimed to have found a fried chicken head in her order of McDonald's Mighty Wings. Debate regarding the bread in McDonald's chicken head will probably never be fully resolved. So, my question, is that why they never, the whole McDonald's Mighty Wings never went into fruition? Is that why? Like, because of the controversy of her finding a severed head? Or maybe the people just didn't like the wings, or they weren't marketed good? Or I wonder. What do you think of that? If you were at McDonald's and you're eating chicken McNuggets, or, whatever, and you found a severed chicken head, what would you do? What would you say? Would you throw up? Would you freak out? Would you eat it? I know some people are probably like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you would say that. Why would you say that? Just curious. Send us some comments towards the GSMC podcast and let us know what you think about it. Go to social media and tell us what you think. What would you do? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back. We're going to tell some more crazy, weird news about food.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GSMC Weird News podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Roulaine. Thank you for tuning in. Weird news, it's not conventional news. It's bizarre, off the cusp, off the collar, and I like it. I really like it. If I find it myself personally more interesting. It's just these crazy, silly stories. It sparks my interest more. How about you? If you're just tuning in and joining us, we covered a couple of crazy segments. Today's Weird News is reporting on wild things that involve food, things that we eat, our sustenance for life. The first story was about this place called Heart Attack Grill, with a lot of controversy surrounding it about the health of the food and the ailments that it's caused its patrons that eat there. And then our second segment that we covered, if you're just joining us, was about crazy things found in food. Shrimp tails found in cereal, and a severed chicken head found in a box of chicken from McDonald's. So if you want to find out more about that, go check out the previous segments. Pretty crazy stuff. This segment, I'm going to bring it down a little bit so not everybody is so disgusted, hopefully. And we're going to talk about people that have very unusual diets, and they eat things that are unconventional and arguably very unhealthy for them. And we're going to cover that and see what people what do people feel about it. This one story is not as perplexing as the next story that's going to come up, but this is about a gentleman who has been eating Big Macs forever. And if you're listening to this, there's a good chance you know exactly what I'm talking about. This guy was featured in that documentary movie, Super Size Me, about the guy that eats McDonald's for like 30 days straight or what have you. This gentleman's name is Donald Gorski. And you know what? I'm just going to read his Wikipedia here. Donald A. Gorski, born November 28th, 1953. He's an American world record holder known as the Big Mac enthusiast. He is best known for having eaten 30,000 Big Mac hamburgers from the United States fast food chain McDonald's in his lifetime, winning him a place in the Guinness World Record books. He claims the Big Mac constitutes 90 to 95% of his total solid food intake. A resident of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, he is featured in the documentaries Super Size Me, like I was saying before, and Don Gortsky, Mac Daddy. I guess I'd love to see that one. Because I'm going to tell you right now, before I get into talking more about this gentleman, I love, listen to my voice, love Big Macs. It's my favorite fast food sandwich, I think. Yeah. Favorite bad fast food. Big Mac, I love it. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed. Fun. Yep. I know that. It's good. I love the taste of it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's good stuff. It's probably not good for you, but it's good. If you can make it at home, homemade Big Macs, ooh, very good, very good. I like it. He's the author of the book, 22,477 Big Macs. It was written in 2008, or as published, rather. So Gorski claims that after getting in his car, the first place he went to was McDonald's on Military Road in his hometown of Fond du Lac on May 17, 1972. He purchased and ate 3 Big Macs at lunchtime. He then returned 2 more times that day to consume a total of 9 Big Macs, the same day he discovered the burger. He further claims to have eaten 265 Big Macs in the following month, an average of 8.5 Big Macs per day. If true, this would be equivalent to over 4,600 calories and 247 grams of low-quality fat daily, for a total of 143,100 calories and 16.9 pounds of fat in 1 month. He also claims to drink almost nothing but Coca-Cola, and according to Super Size Me, he rarely eats the fries. At first, Don kept all the boxes of Big Macs he ate in the back of his car. He met and proposed to his wife, Mary, at a McDonald's in 1975. In addition, he has a statue of Ronald McDonald in his yard. Gorski also states that he has only eaten 1 Burger King Whopper sandwich in his entire life, and it was in 1984, and he will never eat one again. Gorski claimed that he first tried a Whopper after his friend bet him $5 to do so. And then, I love this part, and that he then spent that money on a Big Mac. In the documentary, it talks about that. He's like, yeah, my friend gave me $5 to try a Whopper, so I had the Whopper, didn't really care much for it, but I took that $5 and I went over to McDonald's and bought a Big Mac. In 2003, Don Gorski ate 741 Big Macs, an average of 2.03 Big Macs per day. Gorski is 6 foot 2 inches tall and 185 pounds and claims a cholesterol level of 140. His claimed average daily consumption of 2 Big Macs amounts to 1,080 calories, according to the nutritional information published by McDonald's. This does not take into account his energy intake from fluids. The USDA recommends about 2,200 calories per day. Gorski consumes mainly calorie-rich food, but he maintains a stable weight by consuming fewer calories daily than the average American. He says his taste buds have always fluctuated in sensitivity, so he often eats a Big Mac without being able to taste it. What? What would be the point then? Why would you want to eat a Big Mac if you can't taste it? I don't get it. That's so weird. If you couldn't taste flavors and drinks, right? Why have a beer? Why have wine? Why have a Coke? Just drink water. That's wild. On May 17th, 2011, Gorski ate his 25,000th Big Mac in his favorite McDonald's restaurant in Fond du Lac. On his birthday, he puts candles in a Big Mac like a cake. And when Christmas time comes around, he treats himself to more Big Macs while his family has more traditional Christmas food. I love this kid. He claims that since he ate his first Big Mac, there have only been 8 separate days in which he did not eat a single Big Mac. One of these days was the day his mother passed away. That's sad. and he did not eat a Big Mac to respect her request. Other days included a snow day, when McDonald's was unable to open due to snow, a Thanksgiving days he was traveling and could not find a McDonald's, and various days Gortsky had to stay at work past midnight. The 8th time was when he got double dog dared not to do it. Nice. Gortsky has since started keeping an emergency stash of Big Macs in his freezer for emergencies and snow days. He is on it, man. He is determined. Gortsky commented in 2008 that his obsessive-compulsive disorder is what fuels his love for Big Macs, noting he also records when and where he eats his Big Macs in a notebook that he always carries, and that he has kept every burger receipt in a box. Gortsky ate his 29,000th Big Mac on December 8th, 2016. He also maintains that he has no known health issues and has not had reason to visit a doctor. As doctor visited on April 26, 2011, his first since 1985 to visit the doctor, that is. His cholesterol level was 156, which is below the average of 208. On May 4th, 2018, Gortsky ate his 30,000th Big Mac. Gortsky worked as a correctional officer at Wupun Correctional Institution for 25 years. He retired in May 2011. How about that, man? This gentleman, he's eaten, so when he ate his 30,000th Big Mac, that was in May 4th, 2018, which was getting close to 3 years ago. So I wonder what he's up to now. It's so wild. And he maintains his health. Very peculiar. You know, sometimes the body adapts, right? You do stuff even if it's not that good. Your body just adapts to it. Pretty wild stuff. This next story I'm going to cover is about a guy that survived on pizza alone for 25 years. Yes, that is correct. 25 years, this guy was eating pizza. You guys interested about this? I love some pizza. So this is from Vice. This man has survived on pizza alone for 25 years. After a series of traumatizing food-related events in his childhood, Dan Jansen has survived on nothing but pizza for the last 25 years. I spoke with Dan to try to understand how and why he doesn't eat anything else. My friend Dan survives on nothing but pizza. It's said that variety is the spice of life, but for Dan, a 38-year-old woodworker based in Maryland, oregano is the only spice involved, because it's the only thing that he will put on top of his pizza. The next time people tell you to eat your vegetables, you can tell them to off and enlighten them with the story of this guy. Everyone who knows Dan wonders how he's still alive. Beyond the fact that his diet is completely horrifying, he also has diabetes. Wow. And frequently gets low blood sugar. When his blood sugar dips into the danger zone, it sometimes results in him blacking out on the kitchen floor in his underwear with frozen food scattered around him. Man, that is absolutely terrible. There was the one time he bought a new car and then blacked out on the drive home. He swerved off the road and totaled the vehicle, but besides from that isolated incident, his pizza diet seems to be working out for him. I recently spoke to Dan to hear more about how he came to subsist on gluten, tomato sauce, and cheese alone. It's been said that you're the king of pizza. How did you get that reputation? Dan's response, Dan Jensen. I've been eating pizza exclusively every day of my life for the past 25 years, and I'm not just talking about a slice of pizza every day. I usually eat an entire 14-inch pizza, and I only eat cheese pizza. I never get sick of it. If I go to one pizza shop or another brand, it's like eating a completely different meal. All right, they ask, what's your go-to pizza? My absolute favorite pizza is from Pontillo's in upstate New York. Author's note. It's a chain based in Rochester with 20 locations in that area. I haven't had it in over 10 years, so I can't speak to whether it's still good, but the last time I had it, it was far above any pizza I've ever had. The New York-style pizza, man, it'll get you. It's good stuff. Why don't you eat other food, they ask. I used to eat regular food like every normal American, but when I was 15 or 16, I made the decision to become a vegetarian based on ethical reasons. I still love the taste of meat, and I still love it to this day, but due to my beliefs, I gave it up. That was about 23 years ago. I also hate vegetables. What a paradox, right? Vegetarian that hates vegetables. Does your current diet affect your diabetes? They ask. He says, when I first got diabetes, my endocrinologist said, you should go to a nutritionist. You eat horribly. So I went to a nutritionist, and it was a waste of time. They just basically give you a list of things to try, saying, oh, you're a vegetarian. You should try this, this, and this. And of course, I'm not going to try any of those. I like pizza. I've never gotten a negative reaction except from my first endocrinologist. But all the other doctors have said, your cholesterol is fine, you seem healthy, keep doing what you're doing. I haven't had anyone truly concerned about it, except for my fiancée, and she's not overly concerned, he says. With her advice and support, I've been seeing a therapist about my food aversion, and I've been exploring why I have such a limited diet. I must say, even though I sound like a horribly unhealthy and fat person, I'm not. I'm thin. I have tons of energy, and I feel great every day. So there might be something to the exclusive pizza diet. I guess that's what Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles meant when he said pizza power, right? Going forward, next question they ask him. Can I ask what you've been talking about with your therapist? He says, they've helped me uncover some things that I've always knew but never realized the significance of. Like when I was 4 or 5, we lived in the backwoods of North Carolina where I went to daycare in Miss Stanfield's home. She would try to feed all of us Brunswick stew every day, which is not something you would ever feed a 5-year-old. It's either chicken, pork, or rabbit with beef and okra, lima beans, corn, potatoes, and tomatoes. I would protest and try to run away, but she would grab me. I can't remember whether she would beat me or spank me, but I know that she would throw me in a closet as my punishment for not eating the stew. I would sit in there crying and screaming for a couple of hours until my mom came home to pick me up. That's terrible. It sounds like some crap from like Matilda. Like the principal's like putting people in the closet, that closet with like spikes and stuff. That's terrible that happened to this gentleman. Vice goes on to ask, wasn't there another traumatic story that you mentioned involving your sister? He goes, when I was 5, I was in the backyard. My sister fed me some mushrooms, which turned out to be poisonous, and I had to be rushed to the hospital. They fed me Coca-Cola and Caro syrup until I vomited, and then I kept vomiting uncontrollably the entire night. I was fine after that. They ask, that sounds terrifying. Of the major pizza chains, which are your favorites? Well, I'd like to say they're all pretty bad. I do frequent them. Pizza is like sex. Even when it's bad, it's good. Do you like to cook at all? God, no. My cooking consists of the microwave oven. I never really understood cooking. You put so much time, energy, and expense into it, and then you eat it, and it's gone. Are there any foods in particular that you would like to try to eat in the future? I never want to give up on my love and passion for pizza. However, I would like to be able to go to a restaurant where they didn't serve pizza and order off the menu, which I can't really do right now. My fiancée is vegetarian, so it'd be nice to be able to go out to nicer restaurants with her. We're sort of limited as to where we can go because of my pizza addiction. But at the same time, I don't want to give it up, and I don't want to become a foodie or one of those people that has a fetish around food other than pizza, because I think that's a dumb byproduct of our narcissistic society. They have to have locally grown food from around the corner, and that's all BS. I like processed food. I like preservatives and pizza. My dad's the same way, too. He had triple bypass surgery, and then a week later went out and had a huge steak dinner. His dad should probably go to the, the Heart Attack Grill and get a triple bypass burger, right? They ask, since you've been seeing the therapist, have you started eating any different foods? He laughs. No. In fact, one of the reasons I like to go see her is because she's in the city, and I can go to Joe Squared, a pizza place nearby, after to get pizza. Great. Enjoy your pizza, Dan. That is super wild, man. 25 years. It's crazy what the human body can do and how it can adapt to things like that. Because obviously eating cheese pizza, because he's not even eating like pizza with like vegetables and stuff on it, like a veggie pizza or any of that stuff. It's just cheese. It's cheese, bread, sugar. I mean sugar, because like bread turns into sugar when you're digesting it. It's pretty wild stuff, man. What do you think of that? Could you, even if you love pizza, do you think you could do that? Breakfast, lunch, dinner for like 25 years? Let us know in some comments. We're going to take one last break. When we come back, I'm going to make it there'll be a little bit more lightheartedness when it comes to stuff. We're going to talk about a crazy place that's made out of ice, a restaurant that you can go eat at that's made out of ice and snow. Cool. It's really cool stuff. Come back, tune in, GSMC Weird News Podcast.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast again. I'm your host, Mitchell, and if you're just joining us, our last segment we were covering stuff about people with really interesting food diets. A gentleman that has eaten Big Macs for like 40 years, or is it 30 years, something like that. He's just eating Big Macs, and it's pretty crazy, and he's like set Guinness World Record books for it, and then the other story was about a gentleman that has eaten cheese pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, I did say that. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Cheese pizza for 25 years. He has diabetes, but I don't think, based on what I was reading, that the diabetes is a direct correlation with him eating the pizza. I think he had diabetes prior, I think. All I know is, like, he goes to an endocrinologist and other doctors, and his health is stable. But he eats nothing but cheese pizza, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is wild. That is wild. How are these people, how do they live? It's crazy. Like, I binge on some pizza, some Big Macs or something like that, right? And then I feel like crap, I feel bad. Like, my system is overloaded. I need some fresh nutrition and stuff like that. So that's pretty crazy stuff, right? Do you think you could do that as much as... Anybody listening to this, if you really like Big Macs or cheese pizza or pizza in general, could you do that? Could you eat it every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? When you see that show, Super Size Me, I mean, that guy, it's like he almost died from eating McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know. I guess it's interesting the way we've evolved and stuff, right? Because like your body adapts. And apparently these people, these gentlemen, their body's adapted, and their body, they utilize it and they stay stable. God forbid if, you find out later, like, oh, so-and-so passed away today, heart attack, in McDonald's from eating his 100,000th Big Mac or something. Hopefully not. But that's pretty wild. It's interesting. These people are, they're definitely outliers, and it's super interesting. Food. On this segment, we're going to talk about crazy places to eat. We started out the show talking about this, but that place was about the content of the restaurant, Heart Attack Grill. Rewind, go back to the very beginning of the show, check that out, find out what the Heart Attack Grill is and how you actually can have a heart attack there. It's wild stuff. But going out to eat can be about so much more than just the food, right? The space, the atmosphere of a restaurant can make, if you're having lunch or dinner, and it can make your experience pleasant or terrible. And that's especially true when you visit a restaurant in an interesting location, say a destination made out of ice, below the ocean, or in a forest. So we're going to cover all these restaurants, these interesting ones, right now. So the first restaurant is called Snow Castle, and it's in Kemi, Finland. You'd be eating at a restaurant made entirely of snow and ice. How about that? Every January, Snow Castle is built, and in previous years, at some point in the spring, the structure just melted away. That's wild. Think about. However, starting in 2019, the structure will become permanent, making it possible to visit year-round. Snow sculptures adorn the restaurant space, which is large and illuminated with various lights to make the ice glow in a myriad of colors. Here you can sip cocktails made from local berries served in cups made of ice, or choose warm beverages like mulled wine or hot chocolate. Don't worry about getting too cold sitting down. The stools are one of the few things not made of ice. Oh, how about that? And they are made of wood covered in fur, for you to sit on. A snow castle, or at Snow Castle, the food is rich and reflects local flavors. To start, you'll have a creamy parsnip soup with porcini mushrooms and burnt leek. Then choose the main course. Options include local lamb braised in dark beer, charred whitefish with a lemon brown butter sauce, grilled chicken with fried creamy Dijon rosemary sauce, and as a vegetarian option, fried chickpea tofu with herb mayonnaise. Every dish is served with a side of mashed potatoes made out of the local almond potato called Lapin Pukula, which is known for its buttery, flaky taste. With its stunning icy setting and a tasty cuisine, Snow Castle provides an unforgettable meal in Lapland. I would love to go to this place. Sounds magical. And chilly. All right, this other place is called Under. An April 2019 underwater restaurant opens in Bali, Norway. The restaurant has two aquatic distinctions. First, it's said to be Europe's only underwater restaurant, and second, it's alleged to be the largest underwater restaurant in the world. The restaurant sits on an incline where guests enter on land and then walk down a staircase to access the submerged chamber of the restaurant. The menu here will focus on local ingredients such as berries, mushrooms, and seabirds. Under has been designed to withstand rough weather and high waves, with walls over 1 meter thick. Additionally, the restaurant is designed to blend in with the marine life, and the walls will eventually blend with the ocean life, creating a mussel reef. Although it's only opening in April, this futuristic dining destination is taking reservations and is already quite booked, I can imagine. Not surprisingly, because you wouldn't want to eat under the sea. I know I would. Would you want to go to a restaurant where it's under the water? I know some people might have like some weird reservations about that. What if it cracks and the water pours in and there's a giant shark or something? A megalodon just comes crashing through. I think it would be fascinating to sit down in a restaurant that's underwater. And plus, like, the concept of, like, it starts out at land and then you walk down underneath and you just, it's cool, man. I mean, it's like something out of some really awesome sci-fi or something. I would love to go there. I'm definitely going to, like, tag all of these restaurants I'm going to start doing traveling because I definitely would love to visit this stuff. It sounds amazing. Tree pod. Forget staying in a tree house. How about dining in a private bamboo pod suspended above the jungle? At Suniva Kira, you can make this dream a reality, and even better. It involves zero climbing to get to the tree pod restaurant. The pod is attached to wires, which are hoisted up above, allowing you to be suspended 60 feet in the air. While you're relaxing, the waiter pulls off the masterful feat of delivering food and drinks to you via zip line. Wow. Amazing. The pod can be booked for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or high tea, and it's an experience you'll cherish for a long time. Not only will you enjoy delicious, fresh Thai fare, you'll do it while overlooking the beautiful ocean suspended in the trees. My gosh, this is like without even knowing like what they serve, which I assume these are very fine restaurants, so they have some like really great cuisine. Just the idea of like eating at a place made out of ice, another place that's underwater, and another place that's in a tree house overlooking an ocean, it makes my mouth water. Like my mouth is legitimately watering right now. I mean, that is fascinating. What do you think about that? Which out of those three, what would be your favorite restaurant you want to go to? The ice castle, the underwater exploration, or the tree house overlooking the sunset ocean? Which one? Which one do you think would be your favorite one? Comment and let us know. We'd really love to know. I'd love to know because I'd love to compare and contrast notes. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to do all of them because I can't really pinpoint one out of them. The ice castle's cool, but seeing underwater while you're eating would be neat. I would have to flip a coin on that one. Who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Talking about food, crazy food, wild food stuff. Food is a very important thing, right? It's because it's essence. It's essence of life. Next to water, I mean, it's the thing that helps keep us alive. We got to eat. Got to eat stuff. And all of these stories are pretty bizarre around like people having crazy diets and wild restaurants and magical restaurants, nasty, wild, crazy, outlandish things found in your food. What do you think about this episode? What stands out to you the most about anything that I've spoken about? Which one catches your eye the most? Heart Attack Grill, or were you completely disgusted and taken aback by severed chicken heads and chicken box from McDonald's, or there's other stories too, man. I saw one article about a young boy who found a severed finger in his roast beef sandwich at Arby's. Apparently, the worker was slicing roast beef, and they cut part of their finger off, and they didn't tell anybody, and they doctored it up, and then it just got in there, and this poor kid took a bite out of it. Poor kid. I know it's pretty gross, but it's still very fascinating to me, these things. And then there's also about the crazy diets. The gentleman who eats nothing but Big Macs. Although I don't think he eats nothing but Big Macs, but I think he eats like 2 Big Macs a day, and then he probably eats other things. But most of it is Big Macs, I believe. But yeah, and then the other gentleman Mr. Dan, who eats cheese pizza breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If they haven't done a documentary of that gentleman, I feel like they absolutely should. They should do a documentary about this guy. I mean, the fact that he is alive and in general well health. He does have diabetes, but apparently the eating pizza, doesn't affect him that badly. So he is a walking, talking anomaly. He should be studied. He should be documented. He should have his own documentary. He should have a T-shirt, something. Pretty crazy stuff. Food is a very important staple in our culture, in our society, and in most walks of life. It definitely here in the United States and internationally in other countries. And food has a very great way of bringing people together. I feel like moreover than tearing people apart. I guess in some strides it can do that. What did you think of today's episode? Did it weird you out? Did some of the stories gross you out? Are you quick to try to jump on the bandwagon to find out about all these things, all these stories? And if you are, let us know about it. What is your relationship with food? How good is it? Are you a big foodie like I am? I'll tell you right now. Here's what's so funny. People can't see me, but I'm wearing a Ringer shirt, and that's the T-shirt that has the colored rings on the sleeves and the neck, and it's got the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street on it. Cookie, cookie, cookie. Because first of all, he's my favorite Sesame Street character, hands down, and then he also likes chocolate chip cookies, which is my favorite cookie. And I'm wearing this right now. It's got a picture of the Cookie Monster eating some cookies, and he's munching them, and at the top of the shirt it says Munchies. He's got a big container of cookies. It's hilarious. Look into the stories today. It's very interesting. There's a lot more material in it, too. You can read up and find out about these people and what makes them tick and all the things that, all that. Weird food things interest me. Weird things interest me in general. That's why I'm hosting this Weird News podcast. It's crazy stuff. I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode. What did you take away from it? We'd love, love, love the GSMC, Golden State Media Concepts would love to hear your comments. Did it gross you out? Did it intrigue you? Did it do all of the above? Check us out on, our social media platforms. We've got stuff on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Tell us what you think. And also, if you like weird news, obviously you should subscribe to this podcast show. And there's also a lot of other awesome podcast shows that you can check out on the GSMC network. There's all kinds of awesome things that you can look into. It's a plethora of great stuff here at the GSMC. Thank you so much for listening, and hopefully you'll come back again and check out another episode. Today's episode has been brought to you by the GSMC network. And come back, find out, get all your awesome weird news right here. I'm your host, Mitchell Lane. Thanks again for watching the GSMC Weird News podcast. Take care.